Patriotism is not an abstract concept. It begins from one's own home. It buds out from the love for one's parents, spouses and children, the love for one's own home, village and workplace, and further develops into the love for one's country and fellow people. Omukukutu is a village situated in the northern part of Namibia, Okongo constituency in the Ohangwena region. With a total population of less than 1,000 residents, it is one of the less densely populated villages in Namibia. Omukukutu village is dominated by the Ovakwanyama people, a majority subtribe of the Ovawambo people, a southern African tribal ethnic group and the largest ethnic group of Namibia, found in its northern regions and more often called Ovambo. Ovawambo people are also found in southern Angolan province of Cunene, where the name Ambo is more common. The Ovawambo consist of a number of kindred Bantu ethnic tribes who inhabit what was formerly called Owamboland. Accounting for about 50% of the Namibian population, the Ovawambo are its largest ethnic group. In Angola, they are a minority, accounting for about 2% of the total Angolan population. The traditional home is built as a kraal, a complex of huts surrounded by a fence of large vertical poles. Each hut generally has a different purpose, such as Onjuwo as sleeping quarters or Ipatu as kitchen. The Ovambo people lead a settled life, relying mostly on a combination of agriculture and animal husbandry. The staple crops have been millet and sorghum as Eliavilla, beans as amak and another popular crop. In drier regions or seasons, pastoral activity with herds of cattle as Ngobi, goats as Akambo and sheep as Edi becomes more important. The animal husbandry is not for meat, but primarily as a source of milk. Their food is supplemented by hunting, fishing, and gathering.
Tango itongo fidia vitira poka tunguge non kuishi ambindi no fita pepe hudu tape o mama matelong panyo ko akamati mpenyo shipala long panango boalo ndo mpenyo ko fiekuli ndo kuna kona heto fena kesha ngato bitire moka fituka kula ke ni valo to fena kembinga hitendele mekulu fitula kula lino milunga lini vale na molo lino mingete njunga te ikari apo kadiwa ke lipope pinumbo kadiwa ko putate nshindo kadiwa ko pukapa ta shopo ndala kutonga shiando kadiwa ko bove ne wabet.
Omukukutu is a timeless place, beautiful and diverse beyond belief. With more than 2,000 plant species, Omukukutu is bursting with life. Many of the plants have been used by local Aboriginal people for generations as food, medicine and weaving materials. Bakia plorijaga, also known as Omupapa in Oshawambo language, is the most common tree species of the legume family in Omukukutu and the whole area of the Okongo constituency. Omupapa also occurs in southern Angola, northern Botswana, southern Zambia and northern Zimbabwe. Omupapa is a medium-sized deciduous tree with pinnate leaves, each with 4 or 5 pairs of opposed leaflets. The showy pink to deep mauve flowers have yellow stamens and are clustered in large axillary racemes. It flowers from November to April. The fruit are flattened, woody pods with a hooked tip which split explosively, sending the seeds out over some distance. Their wood of Omupapa forms a dense hardwood which makes it a difficult wood to work, but it is valued for its termite resistance and resistance to rot, is used for railway sleepers, in construction and for furniture making. Omupapa is classified as near threatened because its forests have been considerably reduced as a result of high levels of logging over the last half-century. One of the most common bird species in Omukukutu village is the African collared dove, also known as Onuti or Euti, which is a small dove found in the northern parts of the Horn of Africa and southwestern Arabia. Although it lives in arid lands, it is found around water sources. Onuti is typically around 26 centimeters in length. Its upper body, from shoulders to tail, is a pale grayish-brown, though the wing edge has a bluish tinge. Flight feathers are darker, and nearly black. Head, neck and breast are pinkish shading to white on the chin and belly. There is little sexual dimorphism. Onuti is the species thought to be the wild ancestor of the domestic Barbary dove, though some suggest the Eurasian collared dove may also have been involved. The African collared dove is able to hybridize with the Barbary dove, and it is thought that the increase in the range of colors of Barbary doves available that occurred in the later 20th century was the result of the importation of African collared doves into the United States for interbreeding. It is reported to have been introduced into New Zealand, but it is more likely that the birds there are descended from domestic Barbary doves. The steenbok, also known as ombabi or imbabi, is a common small antelope of southern and eastern Africa. Ombabi resemble small oribi, standing 45 to 60 centimeters at the shoulder. Their pelage, coat, is any shade from fawn to rufous, typically rather orange. The underside, including chin and throat, is white, as is the ring around the eye. Ears are large with finger marks on the inside. Males have straight, smooth, parallel horns 7 to 19 centimeters long. There is a black crescent shape between the ears, a long black bridge to the glossy black nose, and a black circular scent gland in front of the eye. The tail is not usually visible, being only 4 to 6 centimeters long. Winter season, which starts from June to August, is generally dry, clear and cloudless. Fortunately, there's plenty of sun during the day and plenty of light during the night due to the winter full moons. In winter the day temperature rises to a cozy 28 degrees Celsius, but at night the temperature can drop to 7 degrees Celsius or even 1 degree Celsius. When September arrives, there's an almost immediate change in the air, with a promise of warmer weather to come. It is the beginning of the spring season. In September and October it reaches its peak until the first short rainfall in October. During this period, small antelopes such as imbabi and emunda will be nearing the end of their gestation periods, usually giving birth at the onset of the rainy season. Plants are at their flowering peak. New plants grows and the first sounds of spring nesting birds can be heard everywhere. The sound of weavers becomes synonymous with spring when you hear the sizzling calls the males make while competing for the female's attention. This is done while hanging upside down from a nest, whirling from side to side and frantically flapping their wings. By October lots of birds are catching spring fever and starting to nest, so that their chicks will be ready to fledge when the first rains begin. Namibia has a dry climate for much of the year, which means the anticipation of rain is a big feature for the Namibian people, plants and animals. By November the clouds start building up and it becomes hot and oppressive, especially up north. By February the rains are in full swing and the countryside turns a beautiful shade of green. Okongo constituency and the northeastern regions of Namibia has the highest rainfall with up to 600 mm and in the far northeast even up to 800 mm annually. Here the humidity is also the highest and a hot tropically humid climate dominates, making the region the greenest in the country. During the summer months the average temperature lies at 35 degrees Celsius during the day, dropping to about 20 degrees Celsius at night. During the summer months Omukukutu has an average of 8 to 10 rainy days a month, whilst during the months of June to August hardly any precipitation is received. Summer season means the beginning of the ploughing and sowing season for the subsistence farmers in Omukukutu village. waHamudjungu, also known as pearl millet, is a subsistence rain-fed cereal crop which is the major staple food for Omukukutu residents. This crop is highly adapted to low rainfall and the prevailing soil conditions in the north-central regions and the Kavango. For many years, small-scale farmers have survived on the low yields obtained from waHamudjungu. waHamudjungu farmers in Namibia are amongst the few populations in Africa that have successfully developed an integrated food storage system where they can store their grain in storage baskets made of wood strips for up to 5 years. Due to the competition of Chinese retailers in the local market, many local businesses in Okongo constituency collapsed and resorted to liquor businesses called kuka shops. A kuka shop is a Southern African term for a shopping-all liquor shop, an unlicensed house selling alcoholic liquor. The term is used in Namibia and Angola, and is derived from a Portuguese make of kuka beer, which was available in Angola, a Portuguese colony, during the 1960s and the 1970s. Due to lack of recreational parks in the country, young people are forced to meet at kuka shops in order to socialize. The mushrooming of kuka shops in the country has affected many rural families economically, due to drugs and alcohol abuse. Alcohol and drug abuse is also seen as the main cause of many cases of gender-based violence reported in Namibia. After 28 years of Namibian independence, Many villages in Ohangwena region continue to suffer from scarcity of clean water and poor sanitation. The main source of water is the traditional water wells, which is an excavation or structure created in the ground by digging, driving, boring, or drilling to access groundwater in underground aquifers. The well water is drawn by a pump, or using containers, such as buckets, that are raised mechanically or by hand. Water from traditional wells is contaminated and not safe for drinking, unless it is boiled. There is no electricity and villagers are dependent on firewood. There is no clinic and patients have to go to the Okongo State Hospital, which 15 kilometers away from the village. Due to lack of clinics in the Okongo constituency, many patients have to stand in long queues at the Okongo State Hospital. 109 Elizabeth, a pre-primary school was established in the 90s in order to accommodate young children from the age of 3 to 6 to prepare them for the primary and junior secondary education at Omiva Combined School, which is located at the neighboring village called Omiva. Like the great Nelson Mandela said, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. For a better future, African governments must invest in quality education and children must be taught how to think and not what to think.